Welcome back to Mac Talks Football, and Spurs have finally won a trophy after 17 years. They have won the Europa League final, but it was a quite what's the word I want to use here? It was a disgraceful game of football. If I'm being very honest with you, I mean it was a really bad game. Oh my god, it was a tough one. I mean, we should have expected it. I don't know why. I thought, because both of them were 16th and 17th in the league, and I thought like this is their last shot at redemption. So I thought they are gonna go out and they are gonna play their hearts out. Unfortunately, they did not. I think both the teams were really poor. I mean, I'm gonna call out Ruben Amorim. I don't know what he thought with that setup, with the way that he the team that he picked. I mean, playing five at the back. People are gonna say it was three at the back, but for the majority of the game, it looked like it was five at the back because they really did not create. I mean, it was just a poor game of football. I mean, even Spurs, even though they won the game and they are the Europa League champions, and congratulations to them. I mean, out of the two, I would say they were like 1% better. So I think they somehow deserve to win because they like to be very honest, they created chances. Spurs created chances in their first half. I think they just they had a bit more urgency as compared to Manchester United. They showed a bit of more heart as compared to Manchester United, and that somehow got them the goal. I mean, the goal that they scored, I mean, that perfectly summed up the final. To win a final with a goal like that, I mean, that just shows how. I mean, it was like I really don't know what to say. I mean, they were poor, both of them, both the teams were poor. I mean, if you are big names, you need big players to step up. For Manchester United, I mean, none of them stepped up. I mean, Højlund was invisible. There was like after 40 minutes was the first time that the commentators mentioned Højlund's name. 40 minutes in a European final, and your striker gets mentioned after 40 minutes. That's how bad they were. I mean, that guy would never had any service. So Casemiro, I mean, he was all over the place. I really fail to understand that when I did the preview, and I even did my combined 11 as well, and I said Manchester United's biggest strength is going to be at that midfield, right? And I just don't understand why he went and he played two in the midfield. I have no idea why he went with that. I mean, he basically gave Spurs easy access to go ahead and win them. I mean, they've won the midfield battle. I said before that the midfield battle is going to be very important, and Spurs ended up winning that midfield battle. I mean, United were all over the place in that midfield. It was so easy for Spurs to every time to dictate the play. They had the possession, and they it's not like they did anything with it. If I'm being very honest with you, they were poor as well. I'm not going to sit here and just criticize United because Spurs were equally poor. But the fact is, like, Spurs ended up winning, so like they really are not gonna care. But the thing is, like, United, it was very easy for Spurs. If I'm being very honest with you, I think Onana had a good game in the first half. He made a couple of good saves. He made sure to keep the scoreline at 0-0 as long as he could have. But eventually, as I said, it was such a scrappy goal. I mean, again, you have, and I said it in my preview as well. I said the goal, we are gonna see mistakes that are gonna lead to the goal. The markings for Manchester United, defenders. I mean, Brian Johnson, he makes the run between two defenders. You have Euro behind him. You have a Shaw in front of him, and somehow, some way, he still makes that run and has a connection, and somehow a ball goes inside. You have you need to question Onana here. You can see Maguire could have easily kick it out, but he thinks somebody from the behind is going to come. That again shows the miscommunication. No coordination with each other. There's no shouts. There's nothing that tells Maguire to clear it before it comes into that section, and when it comes there as well, like, there's nothing. So it was very easy. It was a very scrappy goal, but Spurs are not gonna mind. The wide players for Manchester United, I mean, Ahmad had a sort of a 10-15 minute spell in that first half where he was really good. Apart from that, he was invisible. Bruno Fernandes, I mean, he was quiet the entirety of that game. And I think, of course, United fans are going to question their captain. You're basically the talisman of the team. You're the captain, and it's a European final, and you are barely do anything. Again, the surprising fact, I could not really believe that he kept Garnacho at the bench. I mean, why he did it? He played Mason Mount instead of him. I have no ill will towards Mason Mount, but you need players like Garnacho to be, to play games like this. You just players that are going to create something from nothing. And Garnacho is one of those players. And the moment he came on, you started seeing the difference that he was creating, consistently from that left hand side. The attacks were coming. And you have to, give credit to Spurs defense. I mean, Wardavan, the clearance that he did, I think from it was Shaw's head. I mean, that was not from Shaw's head. I think it was Euro's head, one of those where the goalkeeper screws it up, and then Wenderwen goes ahead and clears the ball right at the end from Shaw's hander. Vicario makes a great save. Of course, he's expected to make that save, but to be in that situation with that scenario, just about a minute left into the game, and you have this big chance, and somehow he makes that save. So it was a collective effort. Defensively, I think Spurs were really good. I think midfield was good, but if you are talking about creating chances and all that, Spurs were not that good as well. I would say of all the European finals that I've seen over the year, this has to be probably the worst one, if I'm being very honest with you. And again, the way that the season has gone for both of them, it should have been expected. Like so many of us had sort of this expectation that we're going to get an all-out game where both of them are going to just like tell their players to go out and enjoy the game and try to outscore the opponent. Unfortunately, it wasn't like that. I think both of them were quite pragmatic. I'm like really angry with Ruben. I mean, you, as I said, your biggest strength was the midfield, and you cut yourself short. Why you did not play Ogata, I have no idea. I mean, the lineup, the starting lineup was wrong for Manchester United. I mean, for me, they basically lost their game there itself. It showed the defensive minded. It showed that it just felt like Manchester United, the manager and the players were scared. And in 70 minutes he waited 70 minutes to make those substitutions when everybody could see it after 10 minutes that it is not working, and he waited 70 minutes. I don't know what he was, especially in that second half. Like, I was not even a United fan, and I'm screaming, bring somebody on, make a substitution, get somebody in, to help out your team. And he waited, and the moment, as he said, Garnacho comes in, I think Zirkzee come in. I think Zirkzee had a good little cameo. You need players like them, those two, who are consistently moving. And Ahmad also started having the impact in that second half when Garnacho comes in, because you have now, the defenders getting confused. The chances came, and you have all these three players continuously moving and trying to create their chances. And unfortunately, I think I would have brought in Garnacho at the start of the second half. But of course, he does not do it. It was weird. It did not really feel like a Europa League final as well. It just felt like a Premier League game, and it was a poor display. As I said, for me, I think it is. As I said, for me, it is one of the worst. If not, then in one of the worst finals that I have seen as a European final. It was a really poor game, but congratulations to Spurs, that first win in first major trophy in 17 years. This year, has been a year, when a lot of firsts have been coming. Bologna winning the Italian Cup after 50 years, Newcastle winning after 50 odd years, Crystal Palace winning for the first time, now Spurs winning it in about almost in 2 decades, first major trophy. So this has been a year where you have this, a lot of firsts happening. So it is a great day for them. As much as I hate to say it as an Arsenal fan, but I mean, congratulations to them. A fair deal. Now they are in the Champions League. That is a big advantage for them. They can, they have the advantage of bringing in the players because of they are going to be able to play in the Champions League, so they are going to be able to attract players to come in and sign for them. United, on the other hand, I mean, this is a massive summer for United. Of course, I'm going to make a video about all of that later on, but for tonight, I mean, I would say I would end the video. Congratulations to Spurs, but it was a pathetic final. Let me know what you guys thought of the game, what you guys think of Emery, what you guys think of Postecoglou. That is another video that I'm gonna do a video on Emery and Postecoglou separately, because both of them need it. But for tonight, I'm going to let the Spurs fans enjoy their moment. Let me know what you think of the game in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 500 subscribers before the Champions League final. About 30 subscribers are needed, about 15 days to go. So please, not 15 days now, it's quite almost 10 days to go. So please go ahead and subscribe to the channel and help us out. Until next time, bye bye.